Hey everyone, today's quick business tip is completing our series on the value web. If you haven't watched the previous 3 videos on this, you want to stop this one, you want to go back and watch them in sequence because they build on each other, and to understand really what a value web really is and how it can really dramatically increase the revenue that you're bringing in without really adding any more work or new business. We're increasing the average transaction amount of every customer that we deal with. And this can generate literally tens of thousands of dollars of income or a whole lot more depending on how big your business is and what your income and values are for your products and services. In this final video, we're going to complete our value web. We've talked about the value ladder, we've talked about upsells, cross-sells, and in this final video we're talking about the downsell. Sometimes customers simply can't afford the initial product or service that we're offering. Now, many businesses simply say, well, too bad, this is where we're at, we've got nothing left for you. And sometimes that's a good thing, because if you do too much sales or discounts or low value items, sometimes you're not attracting the right type of customer. And that's a wholly, completely different subject that we'll address. But sometimes people just aren't ready to buy our high value item or even initial value item, and we still want to bring them into our business because we can always then offer more value as they go along and as they're able to, or as they begin to trust our business or believe in what we have to offer more. So it's good to always have a downsell item or service that you can offer people if they can't initially afford or aren't ready for your initial product or service. So this comes into play where if you have let's go back to our first illustration of a computer shop where it was $95 for an initial care service for your, to repair a computer was a $95 service fee. Well, if somebody comes in and says, I can't afford that, maybe you could still offer a $35 diagnostic where you can still run some tests on the computer and at least tell them the condition and state of their computer for a smaller amount. That way you're at least getting something out of, you're offering them something, you're making them a customer, you're gathering their contact information, and then you're also letting them know and the condition of their computer. And so who are they going to come to when they're actually able to afford the repair or work on their computer? Most likely you, because you still service them. You gave them something at their level. If you were we were using a massage therapy studio a lot. If your typical massage is $35 and somebody comes in and says, man, I've got really bad neck pain, but man, I can't afford that $35 full half-hour massage. Maybe right then you can say, hey, for $10 I can do a 10-minute chair massage. Maybe that's all they need at that time. So that's the downsell, something of a lower value that you can offer them right then and there so you don't lose the customer. You're actually making them a customer, and then by servicing them in a great way, you can then offer more value to them later on, or they might come back as a repeat customer when they're able to. Now, like I said, you want to think through and how you're going to handle that, because you don't want to just be lowballing everybody and offering them things that are costing you in your business. So if you're so busy, if you're busy enough in your business, then you don't want to be dealing with sometimes clients that can't afford your initial product or service. But if you're looking to gain more business or to bring new people in, then understanding what downsells you can offer is a great key to understand. If you have a certain package of items, a downsell again would be maybe less items. So if your initial offering is a package of 6 golf balls, maybe you have a package of 3 or a sleeve of 3 that they can afford. And you see this all the time where you can buy a package of a dozen, but then they have the individual packages of 3. That's their downsell. So think about your business. What are the products or services that you offer? Do you want to offer a downsell to bring in those customers? What would that be? And if you can do that along with the other things that we've talked about, the value ladder, the upsells, the cross-sells, now you've got the downsells, then you have a complete value web so that no matter where a customer comes in, you know all the different things that you can offer them. you're going to dramatically increase that transaction amount for every customer that you deal with, and it's going to dramatically increase your profits without adding a whole lot more work to your business. And that's the key. Make more money with less work. It's what we all want, right? So hopefully that helps you figure out how to do it. If you would like more help in figuring out how to implement these things into your business, you can always reach out to me. And if these quick business tips are helpful to you, like, subscribe to this channel, comment how you've implemented these things in the comments below. And hopefully you have a great day and become that business master.